I got an email this week from a guy writing the Red Seal Construction Electrician exam in British Columbia for the third time. That's right, the third time. He's a working electrician. He has many years in the field. He can troubleshoot a motor circuit faster than most apprentices I've ever taught, and he's failed twice. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, and it's not the reason that he thinks. I'm Will Nemo, Red Seal Electrician, 309A in Ontario, and I have 15 years in the field. I coach people like you and people exactly like him through the Red Seal exam full time every week. If you failed the Red Seal once or twice or three times and you're a tradesperson, meaning you actually do the work, this video is for you. Because there are two things and two leaks that sink most strong field candidates. Not knowledge leaks, but test execution problems. And once you can see them, you can't unsee them. Let's get started. Leak number one, the language load. Okay, this is what I call leak number one, or the language load. And this is what it is. If you grew up speaking English, you can read a Red Seal question one time. You can take in the question. You can scan the four answers. You can commit about 45 seconds, maybe a minute. If English is your second language, you may need to read it three times. First pass to translate. Second pass to confirm you translated the technical word correctly. Third pass to make sure the negative flip didn't turn the meaning around on you. You know the questions that I'm talking about, which is, which of the following is not acceptable? Which scenario is least likely to cause? That kind of question. You don't even notice you're doing it, but the clock notices. Here's the math. On a 50 to 150 question exam in 4 hours, it's approximately 90 seconds to 2 minutes per question. That number does not move for anyone. And a second language candidate who burns an extra 30 seconds per question on translation alone, that's 30 seconds times 120 to 150 questions, and it equals about 60 minutes. 1 full hour of your time spent on translation before you touch a single piece of theory. And that hour has to come back from somewhere. And it comes from the third back of the exam. Which is exactly why second language candidates keep telling me, Will, I knew most of this. I just ran out of time. That is not a knowledge problem. So here's the fix. The 60-40 rule. If English is your second language, your study time should be roughly spent 60% question format practice and 40% theory. Most candidates have this backwards. They have it flipped around. They bury themselves in the codebook and theory manuals because that is what feels like studying. The textbook feels comfortable. The textbook makes you feel like you're working. The textbook is not your bottleneck. Your bottleneck is the pattern of how the Red Seal questions are written. The double negatives, the qualifier words, primarily, least likely, in most cases, generally. The long question with one buried operative phrase. The four questions that are all technically correct, but one is the most correct. You cannot beat the pattern by reading more theory. You beat it by running hundreds of practice questions until the shape of the question becomes familiar, until your brain stops translating and starts pattern matching. When you can read a question in 20 seconds instead of 50, you just bought back 30 minutes of exam time. Same brain, same knowledge, different result. That's leak number 1. Leak number 2, margin loss. Okay? This is what I can say about leak number 2, and I call it the margin loss. And candidates who scare me the most aren't failing at 45%. They're stuck at 64, 65, 66, 67. Doesn't matter. 70 is a pass. They scare me because they keep doing the wrong thing. They walk out of a 45% thinking, I was so close, I just need to study a bit more. They go buy another study guide. They reread the code book. They sign up for another prep course that tells them that they have the same theory in a new package. They write again and they get 64, 67, 63. I'm sorry, if you're scoring 65% on a Red Seal exam, you do not have a knowledge problem. You have a test execution problem. You already know enough theory to pass. You are losing 4 to 6 points on questions you actually knew the answer to, just from how you read them or how you timed them. And here's the protocol that fixes it. 3 rules. That's it. Rule number 1, read the answers first. That's right. Read the answers before the question. Sounds wrong. It isn't. Skimming the 4 option tells you what question is going to be asked. You can spot the trap, the negative qualifier, the distractor that's almost right before you've read a single word of the question. When you go to the question, you're hunting for one specific piece of information, not absorbing all of it. You will be faster. You will be more accurate. And the questions that you trip up would be obvious. And the 4 answers that don't make sense yet, which is your signal to slow down on that one. Try on your next practice set. You will feel the difference in about 10 questions. Rule number 2, flag and skip. Rule 2, flag and skip anything over 90 seconds. Field guys hate this rule. I know. Skipping feels like quitting. It feels like giving up on a problem you could solve if you thought just a little bit more, a little longer. But here's why it isn't. If you spend 4 minutes on a hard question, you have to make that time up somewhere else. You either rush the next 10, losing accuracy, or you bleed it on the back third of the exam. Either way, you just traded one question for several. One question that hasn't been resolved in 90 seconds. Resolve it. Or flag it, mark it, and move on. You need to come back at it with fresh eyes, with a fresh, after a question further down has reminded you the exact theory that you need. Sometimes the question you flagged will solve themselves on the second pass around. This rule alone, used properly, picks up 3 to 5 points for most candidates. Rule number 3, timing check. Every 30 seconds. Rule 3, check your timing. Every 30 seconds. At 30, you should be, every 30 questions, you should be at the 1 hour mark. At 60, you should be at 2 hours. At 90, 3 hours. At 120 20 minutes in, you should have 30 minutes left for flag review. If you're off pace at 30, you'll find out then, and you can adjust. But you don't check until you finish. you find out at question 95, and then you realize you have 15 minutes and 25 questions left. Now you're guessing on the theory you actually knew because you didn't pace the exam. 3 rules: no new textbook, no new course, no new PDFs, right? Candidates who actually run this protocol, not read it, run it, they actually pick up 6 to 10 points on the next attempt without learning anything new about the trade. Order of operations. One last thing, because the order matters. If you're a second language candidate and you're stuck in the 60s, fix the language load first. Then layer in the execution protocol. They compound. The language fix gets you back the 30 minutes of exam time you're bleeding. Execution protocol gets you the 4 to 6 points you're losing on questions you already knew. Together, that's a 75% candidate, and that's a pass. It's over 70%. If you failed, right, the red seal once, you are not behind. You are 80% of the way there. The other 20% isn't more theory. It's a plan that respects the clock. Okay, I've built a free quiz that tells you which of the 2 leaks is yours. It takes about five minutes. Link is in the description and pinned in the top comment. It's built by me, a Red Seal electrician, not a marketing team. Take it. Find out exactly where you're losing the points. Then come back and we'll fix this together. Right? You're closer than you think. Cheers.